Hey, this is Sully for Antisocial News. Sully, clearly hive mind Sully. And this is the body count report for December the 13th. Today is a Wednesday in the last month of 2017. Isn't that crazy? And what's even crazier is this is episode 93 of the body count report. So we're going to be coming up to our 100th episode very soon. I'm going to be doing something special. Going to involve some t-shirts and some live chats, some live interviews. It's going to be something. All right, let's go ahead and start talking about today's body count report. News, we have watch. Undercover cops arrest Palestinian rioters. Video from Ynet News. Pretty intense scuffling. They're confiscating weapons from the terrorists. This is a pretty rough situation. Pretty scary situation out there in Israel. A lot of people are looking at it as a powder keg that could erupt into another intifada at any moment. So, keeping an eye on Israel. I remembered this today thanks to Prensa Libre. So, thank you, Guatemala's Prensa Libre, for reminding me that incendios en California siguen fuera de control, celebridades desolación, which, pardon my Spanish pronunciation, but that is where the wildfires in California are actually pushing celebrities out of their homes. So I'm including that Prensa Libre article. And I want to show you this too. If you have Google Chrome, you might think, wow, Sully, I don't speak Spanish as well as you. I don't read it as well as you do. Well, actually, I cheat. I do know some Spanish. Un poquito. But I just hit this button right here. I just do a right click, and then there's going to be a drop-down menu. It's not showing on the screen, unfortunately. You do right click, and then in the drop-down menu, hit translate to English, and then bang, just like that. California fires are still out of control. Celebrities evict. The translations aren't perfect, but it still lets you know what's going on in another language, any language, pretty much around the world. Google has a grasp on, not a great grasp on everything, like Tagalog. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad with Tagalog, but so check out the fires in California. Some of these they are working on stopping the fire, and there's a whole bunch of different ways that they have to do that, including controlled burns. So they'll control burn an area so that the fire won't be able to continue burning after that. So very interesting stuff. Keep an eye on California. This has been a horrible blaze, and people are definitely fighting for their lives out there. So keeping my friends out there alive. In my heart, I'm hoping you guys are okay. Antisocial, Antonio, Just Kidding News. All my favorite YouTubers and that out there. I hope you guys are okay. So, let's see here. This is a very troubling story because this is the government of Pakistan is trying to release another militant leader. If you remember, they got into some hot water last month for releasing the terrorist mastermind behind the organization that did the Mumbai terrorist attacks in 2008. Why they would give that guy, let that guy out, it doesn't make any sense. They're not in the country. And it looks like we're dealing with another pandering to the extremist situation here, where the government is trying to let out Ensulullah Hassan, who is a member of the Pakistani Taliban, which is incredibly deadly organization. So yeah, and I love how they say formally, as if these, oh, that was just a summer job, with the terrorist group that kills hundreds of people a year. All right, pro-peace Pakistani activist Raza Mahmood Khan disappeared from the horde. This is some scary stuff whenever you see activists being intimidated or possibly killed. It's very troubling, especially if you are pro-freedom of speech, as I am. Check out this story, and sorry, I had the wrong scene up there for a second. We are going to be moving on. Check that story out. Learn more about Raza Mahmood Khan. Speaking of activists and having their freedom of speech restricted, we have Ethiopia restricts internet access amidst protests. This is a pretty scary story. So learn about the protests, learn about the ways that the government is cracking down on their citizens, and U.S. troubled over Ethiopia's renewed deadly violence, calls for justice. This is a pretty scary situation for the people there in Ethiopia, especially in the U.S. embassy, where they're sort of powerless to get involved, but they are upset at what they're seeing. So keep an eye on this story. Africa News reporting on both these stories, and then there are related articles off to the side, so check those out. Glad to see the U.S. is weighing in on the situation. Body count on this unrest is 15 just in the past couple days. Moving on, we have the Biafra situation. Low body count, high impact of people. I believe for this year the conflict has affected less than 10 people in lethal force, but there's been several altercations with the federal government over land issues, and hundreds of people have been thrown in prison for their involvement with IPOB, or the indigenous peoples of Biafra, in Nigeria. So learn about Nnamdi Kanu's fight for independence, and if you agree with it, it's a very interesting situation for me because I am not from Nigeria. I'm not broadcasting from Nigeria. The thought process for me is, as a very patriotic American, as a flag waving American, when I look at this other country, I have to sort of think to myself, would I be just as patriotic there? And due to some of the separatist movements around the world that I've been seeing, it's really been a thought-provoking thing for me, where I think, is IPOB essentially like Texas in the U.S. talking about seceding from the Union? Or is IPOB like Kurdistan, where there are people that have an indigenous home and they don't want the government, which has no interest in their rights, governing their actions? So yeah, it's a very interesting thought jungle gym to play in while you're actually trying to understand a very serious situation going on with people around the world. And I encourage all of you to do that. Learn about Biafra, learn about Nnamdi Kanu and President Buhari's relationship with IPOB, the indigenous peoples of Biafra. We are going to move on to a lighten up link. I have to lighten up and tell you guys there's other stuff out there. Link will be in the description below. Supreme President of Kyrgyzstan, Big Man Tyrone, has put out a hilarious video about the Earth being flat. It's brilliant, and if you deal with people, if you deal with people posting, I don't cuss on this channel, but there's a certain type of posting that involves posting stuff like it's poop posting. If you have a lot of friends that poop post, let's say that, about the flat Earth, you will get a kick out of this Big Man Tyrone video. Also, please follow on Twitch. This is our Twitch feed right here. As you can see, it is filling up with me because I am live right now when I am recording this. So if you're watching this on YouTube later, you missed it. I already did this on Twitch. So jump on Twitch. A lot of times I just have a constant rerun show going, and I like to keep the Twitch populated with stuff going on. So please jump on there, follow that, and I am going to push you towards our supporters, Patreon supporters, the podcast as well. Another channel that I'm involved with, and please subscribe to them. Link will be at the end of this video and in the description below. So Israel, you're in our hearts, as well as California, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Pakistan, and India. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and big shout out to Big Man Tyrone and the podcast. Cheers, everybody.